Let's bring in Abubakar Maigandi, National President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, otherwise known as IPMAN. Thank you for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, here we are again. I mean, just when you thought the worst really is over as far as fuel queues are concerned. We've been queuing since about last week or, 2 weeks now. Nobody said anything until today. That NNPCL is trying to reassure Nigerians that it's just logistics problems. But tell us more about these logistics problems. Exactly what are they? Especially at a time when Dangote refinery has brought down the cost of diesel. One would expect that it will reflect on, transportation costs for these logistics issues. Let's start from there.
Well, really, we meet NNPC because immediately when we have seen that we are not loading the way we have been loading before, we meet them, we discuss, and they tell us it's a logistic issue. And what I want you to understand is only NNPC that is sole importer of PMS. So they are the only people who are importing PMS. And actually, they convince us, we come to realize that there is that logistic issue, because they tell us that they have availability of the product in the higher sea. So the logistic that they are talking about is collecting the product from the mother vessels to the daughter vessels, so that they will come and discharge it inside the tank farms, that is depot owners' stations. So, and they have started discharging, because yesterday they discharged product in most of the tank farm in Lagos, Warri, and Port Harcourt. So immediately when they finish discharging, we will already authorize all our drivers to go and start loading with immediate effect. So that is the reason why you have been seeing that queue that is going on now. But by the grace of God, through their assurance, there will be availability of the product very soon. That is what the management of the NNPC is telling us.
Okay, so it's not a case of attempts to increase the pump price of fuel, because the question that's been asked, lately is whether subsidy is back. You heard the former governor of Kaduna State, Rufai, say, look, there's secret subsidy going on because there's crisis. Yeah, there was a time recently that the dollar went as high as 1,900. The cost of petrol stayed virtually the same, and people are wondering how come it's not reflecting. Is there some kind of subsidy going on? Should we be concerned about that?
Well, there is no any subsidy because, Mr. President, right from the town, he said that the subsidy has been removed. And likewise, the GMD, NNPCL, he too have said there is no subsidy. And this NNPC, they are the sole importer, just like the way I tell you.
Yeah.
They are the only people who are bringing this PMS in the country. So since they say there is no subsidy, I don't think somebody will come and say there is subsidy. So the only thing, the way you have been seeing is going, NNPC know how to manage their affairs. So we independent petroleum marketers, since we already rely on them, immediately when they bring the product, they discharge, then we go and start loading. Because already we have paid the product. What is remain is just to load and carry the product and discharge in our filling station. So for the issue of the subsidy, I will not answer that question to you, but I know if you call the NNPC management, they are better to tell you whether there is that subsidy or no subsidy.
Yeah, well, they have said, there's no subsidy, but the question still lingers. So how desirable is it for the NNPCL to be the sole importer of fuel and petrol?
Yes, that one is a government policy. So they are the only people that can be able to bring it. So it's a policy.
Yeah, but I'm asking, how desirable is it? I mean, how is that even good for the economy, this monopoly of the NNPCL? Don't you think that people like yourself, IPMAN, would want to import, and maybe that would impact on the cost of petrol?
Yes, that is what we have been calling for a very long time. They should allow us to participate in importation whereby any way they have been getting the source of the fund, then the government should assist us to be getting it in that way so that we can be able to, we bring our own product and discharge and sell to our members. And we are still discussing that issue with them. So by God's grace, if they permit us to start importing and give us an enabling environment of bringing the product, we can participate.
Right. Talk to us about this disparity. I mean, you go to petrol station A, price is 619. You go to B or C or D or whatever, it gets up to 690. Do you want to help us understand, you know, the reason for this disparity in the cost of, in the pump price?
We too marketers, we are still concerned about the different price, but you know, since the subsidy has been removed, so the private depot owners, normally we independent petroleum marketers, we buy this product through private depot owners. So sometimes they used to increase their price. Just like in this time, when they have seen there are chances of increasing the price, so they will increase the price to our marketers. So by the time when we loaded this product, we too, when we come, we have to increase the price. So nothing more than that.
Now, what's the guarantee that come next week, Nigerians will not be queuing at the filling stations? Or, you know, a few months down the line, we will not be back here again talking about, you know, fuel queues. You heard some of the respondents in that report say, look, there's a need for the federal government to address the root causes. Help us understand what exactly the root causes are in a way that, you know, can help government overcome these challenges.
Well, you know, there are a lot of ways that we can be able to overcome these challenges. Just of recent, you know, before we struggled before we can be able to get AGO, which is diesel. So since Dangote started producing, actually you have seen the issue of scarcity is not there in diesel. Then secondly, the price is reducing.
Right.
So that is what we have been talking always. I know immediately when he started PMS, the same thing, you cannot see scarcity. So I think it's good Nigeria to encourage to see that all these our Nigerian refineries are put in a proper condition so that they can be able to produce.
Are there external forces that don't want our refineries to work?
Well, that one, I cannot say there is external forces or any other forces, but I know government is government. By the time when government decided to make changes, there must be changes. And just of recent, what the GMD was telling us, he said very soon, Port Harcourt refinery too will start functioning.
Yeah.
So immediately when the Port Harcourt refinery starts functioning, and then Wari refinery starts functioning, then automatically we have to start exporting. Because I know immediately when Dangote started, he will produce a higher volume of PMS, whereby he has to carry it outside. Nigeria alone cannot consume his production.
I mean, 650,000 barrels per day capacity.
Yes.
One of the issues troubling the minds of Nigerians, I mean, when you look at the media generally and you hear that Dangote is likely to get crude oil from the US or from, you know, any other country apart from Nigeria, how troubling is that for you as a player in the industry? Is it something we should be concerned about? Should that even be happening at all?
No, you know, it's a business.
Right.
If he can get it from US, if the US crude oil that he can be able to get and bring it to Nigeria, if it's the same price with Nigerian crude oil, or even maybe he may get some certain discount, it's good and fine. There is no problem on that.
Is that not to the disadvantage of the Nigerian economy?
Not
Nigeria is one of the
no,
largest
not necessarily.
oil producers in the world. Top 7.
Already Nigeria has buyers of crude oil.
Okay.
That is the reason why always we are looking the way we can be able to increase the volume.
So it shouldn't
No, there is no panic about that, because
all.
the most important thing, the refinery is in Nigeria. One, he created an opportunity of employment. Most of our youth now has been getting job in that place.
Right.
Yes. And secondly, it helps Naira in depreciating, because instead we...
Depreciating or appreciating?
Appreciating.
Okay.
Yes. Instead of carrying Naira to be converting it to dollar to just go and source for PMS or AGO, now it will reduce. So the pressure on the Naira will automatically reduce.
All right, before we go, the issue of diesel has been on the front burner, lately. I mean, some are calling for further reduction in the cost of diesel. Is that, I mean, what's your thought on that? Do you expect Dangote to bring it further down? What would be the realistic cost of diesel?
Yes, since he has started, he has been reducing week by week.
Right.
Almost every week, he normally used to reduce the price, which is good and fine. And we are expecting him still to go below what he was selling now.
What would be the realistic figure?
Through the calculations, the way now the Naira started appreciating.
Market forces will determine
Yes, definitely, quite all right.
I have to say thank you very much. Abubakar Maigandi is National President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN.
Thank you
for
very
joining
much,
us.
Ngozi.
And very reassuring that the queues will disappear sooner than later.
Through the information that we get through the NNPC and the way they said they will be allocating product to us, I know if they fulfill their agreement, definitely you will see the queue will vanish. And all our members will already tell them, anybody who has any tickets, he should try as much as possible and go to the depot and load the product, and he should allow his filling station to be selling 24 hours, especially in the cities. And we advise the masses again, they should stop panic buying. That is the motorists. Because in most of the cases, when people see an opportunity like this, they will try to
cash in on it.
Very good. So that is just what is happening.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I wish you the best.